Hey, you. Look up at the night sky with me for a second. All those stars, each one potentially a sun with its own family of planets swirling around it. It's a mind-boggling thought, isn't it? And it leads to a question humans have been asking forever. In all that cosmic real estate, are we really the only place where life has taken hold? That's the deep dive we're taking today.
Exactly. We've gathered some fascinating insights to explore this fundamental question. Our goal isn't to deliver a definitive answer because, honestly, well, it's beyond our current scientific grasp, but to give you a clear understanding of the key scientific ideas at play. We want to unpack what we know, highlight the big mysteries, and leave you thinking about the amazing possibilities of life beyond Earth.
Okay, let's unpack this. When we first consider why Earth is so special, the usual suspects come to mind. The air we breathe, all that glorious liquid water, and our planet's perfect location relative to the sun. These are the things we've always associated with life.
Right. For a long time, Earth was the sole example of a life-sustaining world. But that picture has dramatically changed in, the last decade. We discovered thousands of exoplanets, planets orbiting other stars. It's been a real game changer in how we view planetary systems.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Scientists talk about the Goldilocks zone, right? That sweet orbital spot around a star where temperatures could allow liquid water to exist on a planet's surface. For billions of years, we thought Earth's temperature was a cosmic lottery win. Now we're realizing there might be billions of lottery tickets out there with similar numbers. We're finding exoplanets in these zones, and not just giant gas balls, but some that are, Earth-sized, appear to be rocky, and might even have atmospheres. So the basic ingredients for life as we know it might be surprisingly common.
Precisely. And this leads us to a huge question. If the building blocks for life are potentially everywhere, why haven't we found any concrete evidence of life beyond Earth? Is life itself an incredibly rare event, a one in a cosmic gazillion shot? Or is it simply that finding it across the vastness of space is an unbelievably tough puzzle to solve?
Which brings us to what science can't say yet. Despite all our incredible technological leaps, we haven't found that undeniable sign, have we? No aliens waving, no clear evidence of even microbial life on Mars, nothing that definitively says we're not alone.
Yeah, and it's vital to remember that just because we haven't found something doesn't mean it's not there. Absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence, right? The sheer scale of the universe throws up some serious roadblocks to detection. Consider this. Even our closest neighboring star system is over 4 light years away.
4 light years.
When we say light years, we're not just talking about distance. We're talking about the time it takes light to travel that far. Meaning, if we saw something happening on a planet there right now, it actually happened 4 years ago. That's nearly 40 trillion kilometers.
Wow.
Trying to find life out there right now is like trying to find a single drop of water in all the Earth's oceans using only a telescope.
40 trillion kilometers.
Yeah.
That really puts the cosmic distance into perspective. So even with all our searching, we're looking for something incredibly tiny across an unfathomably large space.
Exactly. But that immense challenge hasn't deterred scientists. There are numerous ongoing missions dedicated to the search. We've got rovers on Mars, essentially robotic geologists looking for signs of past or present habitable conditions, and even chemical traces that life might leave behind, what we call biosignatures. And telescopes like the James Webb are peering into the atmospheres of distant exoplanets.
And analyzing these exoplanet atmospheres is key, right? We're looking for specific combinations of gases that shouldn't be there together naturally, like significant amounts of oxygen and methane. Finding those could be a strong a biosignature that something living is actively changing the atmosphere.
Precisely. It's about finding chemical imbalances that point to a biological origin. And then there's the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI.
Oh yeah, SETI. They're out there with giant radio telescopes, basically eavesdropping on the universe, hoping to pick up a non-natural radio signal.
Something artificial.
Yeah, something that would scream, "Hey, we're here!" from another civilization. And so far, radio silence.
And that silence leads us to one of the most puzzling questions in science. The Fermi Paradox. It's the apparent contradiction between the high probability of extraterrestrial civilizations existing, given the sheer number of stars and potentially habitable planets, and the complete lack of any evidence for them. Given the age of the universe and the potential for life to arise, where is everyone?
It's a real head-scratcher. Our source material explored some of the proposed solutions to this paradox. One is that life itself, despite the common ingredients, might be incredibly rare. Maybe the specific chain of events needed for life to not only arise but then evolve into complex, intelligent forms is far more unique and improbable than we currently appreciate.
Hmm, that's possible. Another possibility is that advanced civilizations might have a limited lifespan. Perhaps there are natural or self-inflicted limits, environmental collapse, resource depletion, some kind of inherent self-destruct mechanism,
No.
that prevent them from reaching a stage where they can make their presence known across interstellar distances.
And then there's a more intriguing, maybe even a little unsettling idea. What if extraterrestrial life is out there, but they're deliberately avoiding us? Maybe we're just not interesting enough, or perhaps even perceived as dangerous, like a cosmic nature preserve.
It's certainly a provocative thought, the zoo hypothesis, but it also highlights a fundamental challenge in our search. We tend to project our own expectations and biases onto what alien life might be like. Which brings up another crucial question. Would we even recognize alien life if we encountered it?
That's a great point. We're so focused on finding life as we know it, carbon-based, water-dependent, breathing some kind of atmosphere. But what if life out there is fundamentally different? What if it doesn't need water or gets its energy in a way we can't even imagine?
Exactly. Consider the possibility of life based on other elements, like silicon instead of carbon. Silicon can form complex molecules, though perhaps not as easily as carbon. Or what about forms of life that aren't even based on cells? Could there be self-replicating systems, perhaps even based on something like advanced AI, that we wouldn't traditionally define as alive?
It makes you wonder if our current search methods are like looking for a very specific grain of sand on an enormous beach. We might be so fixated on finding something Earth-like that we're completely overlooking something truly extraordinary but utterly alien.
That's a crucial thing to keep in mind. Our understanding of biology and the possibilities for life is still evolving. We shouldn't limit our thinking solely to what we know from our own planet, which then leads to a fascinating shift in perspective.
Right. And then there's us angle. What if, against all the odds, we are the pioneers, the first intelligent life to emerge in our little corner of the galaxy or even a much larger expanse of the universe?
It's a humbling and perhaps a slightly audacious thought, but one that can't be dismissed. Think about what humanity has achieved in a relatively short amount of time, geologically speaking. We've developed complex technologies, explored our own solar system, and yes, we're even broadcasting signals like this very deep dive out into the cosmos.
So if we are the first, what does that mean? Does it make Earth an incredibly rare, almost miraculous anomaly? Or does it simply mean we happen to hit the cosmic jackpot in terms of timing? Maybe the universe is teeming with the potential for life, but we just happen to be the first to reach this level of awareness and technological capability.
These are profound questions that science can't definitively answer right now. But even considering the possibility that we might be the first intelligent life in the galaxy underscores the immense responsibility we have. Responsibility for our own future and perhaps even the future of life in the universe.
So, to bring it all together for you, the key insight here is this. While Earth remains the only planet we definitively know harbors life, the sheer scale and diversity of the universe, coupled with the constant discoveries of new exoplanets, strongly suggests that the question of whether we're alone is far from settled.
Absolutely. The cosmos remains largely uncharted territory, and our methods for detecting life are constantly becoming more sophisticated. What we haven't discovered yet doesn't negate the incredible possibilities of what might be out there waiting to be found.
And on that note, here's a final thought for you to ponder. Maybe the reason we haven't found other life isn't because it doesn't exist, but simply because we haven't yet figured out the right cosmic address to look at or the right moment in time to listen. The universe is a vast and ancient place, and the story of life within it is likely still being written.